कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Welcome to Cyrus Says, brought to you by Jupyter, a banking app that helps you master your money. I'll punch in the time, ting, and we start the show. We've got a very interesting person coming on, as usual. But before I get into him, and he's quite the legend in his own way and own right, I have to just tell you my observations. Now it's May, and some schools are still on, like my kids' schools for some reason. And I cannot understand why you'd send boys in long pants to school in this weather. It is 86 degrees. I'm seeing people die in front of me. Mrs. Sharma crossed the road and we never saw her again. She was fried like an egg in 10 seconds, right there in front of us. So how can you put them in long pants? You can see these kids waiting to get their car rides because no buses are allowed, standing there in the sun. And then when they come back, standing again in the sun and getting fried completely. Please don't kill our children this way. There are many ways to kill children. This is a very cruel way, as far as I'm concerned. Having said that, because this guy goes back to, let's say, the childhood of many people. If you look back a decade or so, he's been one of the guys in the forefront of the first generation of children's sort of entertainment that we provided. Not childish entertainment, which people like me provide, but children's entertainment. That goes back to Disney. Let me introduce him, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll ask for the music to be put in the second or third rendition of this show, which will happen in 2025. Vishal Malhotra. Tang, tang, tang.
Cyrus, wow, this is a fanboy moment for me, man.
You
Yeah!
liar. I met you
Look
250
for me,
times. We've
I
even done
made it to
events and all.
Cyrus's show. I made it to Cyrus's show. I'm here. Woo! He's that guy who ignores me every day at Bombay Gym when he's working out in the rugby club. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. It's such
Is
a
that
pleasure to
so?
be here. I mean, I know we're going to get into a lot of fun, maybe, but
Huh?
I want to take this. I want to take this half second to tell you that thank you, man. You've just been so instrumental in such good stuff. So thanks. That's it.
Uh, I, I I have to tell you, I don't want to take credit for everybody else's work, but I'll say thanks for that anyway. Vishal,
Yeah.
I was about to introduce you and you've cut it. Now, would you like the full introduction or do you want the half introduction?
Let's just talk about you, Cyrus.
Bro, that doesn't work that way. The people who watch the show only watch if the other person talks. They've told us
Before we
250 times. We get
continue,
messages. Yeah,
can we
yeah.
have 5 seconds of 2.5 seconds of silence for Mrs. Sharma, who died of a heat stroke while you were looking at her? By the way, what were you doing looking at Mrs. Sharma? I mean,
But
it's
she's
been
pretty.
years and you still ogle at her. She
But
passed away. May
she's
God.
57 years old, but she's in great shape. And I must say, she was
Well,
very hot,
well
which
maintained.
is ironic and poetic at the same time because then she sort of became too hot.
Hot.
And then in
Yeah,
front of us, that happened. Terrible. But I'm joking about this. I'm
yeah,
watching these kids in their long pants. It's like torture. And even the
yeah.
shirts are wrong. They should be in ganjis. And, the RSS got it right. You need to wear as less as possible to survive in India.
Shorts. Yeah,
The
yeah.
British
Well,
and the
now,
RSS, not always friends, they got it right. The khaki shorts, the short shorts,
yeah,
simple
they got it.
clothing, linen. I
I agree
just,
with you.
why do we, don't you think we should think about these things more practically? We're wearing
I
all kinds of
think we
strange,
should, and I think this conversation today should be dedicated to shorts. Boys wearing
I think
shorts.
so. And anti
Yeah,
jeans. I feel the jeans movement in India is
jeans.
wrong.
Yeah,
Jeans is for
it's
cold
yeah,
countries, bro. It doesn't work in
yeah.
tropical countries. You look stupid.
I haven't worn a pair of jeans for the last 3 years now.
I haven't worn anything below the waist for the last 3 years, thanks to the pandemic,
So
and
just can
and
you pin it
rightly
down?
so.
Camera down,
It's
pin
just
down.
not
What
worth
is
it.
it?
We have a sponsor. We're trying to keep them till Wednesday. It's just not worth it. Trust me. But
Jupiter, right? You said Jupiter something, right?
Jupyter. Please say nice things about Jupyter. It's taken us 16 years
I
to get a
love Jupiter.
sponsor. Yeah,
I love
that's
Jupiter.
fair enough.
Besides being my favorite planet, love everything it does.
They live with
Hands down.
that. You don't have to
Yeah.
get into the whole banking process
I'm looking
thingy,
for
which
some
which
kind of
they
a
make
sponsorship for
easy.
my. I'm looking at some kind of sponsorship for my film also. So you think you can put in a word, Cyrus?
Sala liar! How dare you be so rude to us? You are. Let me read out. You're going ahead of the program, but I'll read out something for everyone quickly. Going to talk about his film Ilm. We'll talk about him obviously as much as we can, and then his film Ilm, which apparently means knowledge. It's being the first directorial is his first directorial, and it is the first NFT funded movie.
Yes,
Okay,
that's true.
so brother, you don't need
Yeah.
paisa. You need to teach us how to source paisa, Mister Vishal Malhotra.
आगे आगे देखो क्या होता है. You just hang up
Dick down,
very
dick down,
soon.
dick down. Okay, but let's we'll come back to that. Let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to go back for those of you who say very young and haven't seen Vishal in his first avatar. So you'd be the first child star, pure child star entertainer in a sense. I would think, because you
No,
were the
man,
first
Cyrus. No,
with
I'm
the
so sorry.
Hairspray and all
No,
the early Disney stuff. At least you're in the generation of the first lot. The first lot who kids, I would say the first generation of kids grew up
Y-
to their own entertainment separate. I mean, they had Mickey
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Donald once a week, and which was really not working, to be honest. Yeah. Huh. Huh.
No, thanks for saying. So, no, no, not, I mean, not a child star per se, but I started when I was around 17, 18, like a lot of my colleagues did. Coincidentally, you and me started pretty much at the same time.
We did.
When MTV was coming in and satellite television was coming in, and I actually
You, me,
got
and
the last bit
Shahid
of.
Afridi. We were all 17 when we started, and
Yeah,
please,
yeah. Sachin
we
beat us.
still.
I was very upset when your very close and dear friend Sachin beat us
That's true. We
to
got to,
this
we
at
got to
the
check
age
that
of.
birth certificate. I feel he's aged a
Yeah.
lot suddenly. Yeah, I'm wondering if that was true.
Yeah.
But but
Well, we'll get into that, and then people like friends, common friends like Prahlad Kakkar and Baman Nirani, and helped us on the way. But yeah, I wasn't a child actor as such. I started when I was 17, 18, and I
no,
started
no,
with a show
I don't mean child
called.
actor, bro. I'm saying actor for the children's, because it's the first time Disney
Right.
sort of came in, and you came in with Disney. Just like how Malaika came in with MTV, and Nikhil Chinappa came in with MTV. You came in with Disney. And we have to understand that was the first generation of kids who grew up with kid programming. So by the time I became a father for the eighth time, first time legally, I was watching. So I could watch all the shows. You were still on, by the way. When my son Mikhail, who's now 19 and just come back from Canada, is a strapping young man, looks like somebody else, no family member at all, but whatever. We watched you. You were still very much on there. You were still in that avatar. So I'm just saying that you were the first generation of guys where kids had their own programming. Look at what I went
Yeah.
through. Silvery who come later has no idea about the pain we went through. For us, it was Amchi Mati, Amchi Manse was the closest to child programming. I mean, I was very painful. Or Bathmia. See, these words don't even mean
Yeah.
anything to you guys. And you're only 10, 11 years younger than me. You're not that young, beta. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, Ravi Chacha. You're not that young.
Ravi Chacha.
Uh,
Yeah, I get
that'll
your
come
point, and
later.
I really appreciate what you're saying. So yeah, Disney was the first, all-out kids entertainment that really started in our country. I started off way back with when it was only DD Metro, and then Z came in, and then the shows started coming in like Hip Hip Hooray, etc.
Was
But it
Hippie
was
Hooray the
amazing,
first thing,
right, son?
Vishal? Hippie Hooray was the first thing
Uh,
that put you up? Just take us to the.
Second.
How do you. So, what was the very first thing? Ads. You were doing ads, I think.
No, I think it started with a show called Disney Club. So I started on with Disney on DD
Yes.
Metro, and
Correct.
then moved on to, oh, by the way, which but at that time Disney was half pretty much half partnered by the Modi group, Lalit Modi, because you needed a partner
You
in
quickly
India
you
at that
quickly
time.
mentioned which one.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got his good stuff in his own
Godfrey
right.
Phillips, I think. I'm trying to remember the company. Yeah.
Modi Care was the company which kind of tied up. They
That's
had
also the
Discovery, they
that's
had
also the Prime
ESPN.
Minister's refrain. Yeah. Now I'm confused.
Please understand how I'm kind of putting in all
Yeah,
those
yeah, you're
words.
you're
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
treading a very good path. Your
I'm
diplomacy is
trying to.
appreciated immediately.
I'm
You've not
I'm
reacted
trying to
once.
do
You
the
passed
yin
the
and yang.
test. Yeah,
Yin and
and
yang.
not only that, you've not committed to the government or to the opposition. So you've done a beautiful job, as far as I'm concerned.
I
Please
I
go on.
learned from you. I learned from
Yeah.
you. But 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 that was a good
Cowardice
ride.
is
I
to be
started
passed
off.
on, brother. Sorry,
Thank
go on,
you.
go on.
Very
Yeah.
generous. Well, the thing is that, yeah, that started off. Then we went on to a show called Disney R, which became a rage. And coincidentally, a show called Hip Hip Hooray came in, which was on ZTV. And that became a
Let
rage.
me
I
stop you
played
there
the
for a second
character
because
of
you're too
John.
modest and you're not going to say the right thing. Hip Hip Hooray was a huge show for its time. I mean, it
Yeah,
was a
it was
huge show, and
it
a
was
lot of
fun.
people have done well from that cast as well. But the more importantly, it was like a game changer. Let's be very very honest about this, and I think that puts you into another level altogether. And then there's a whole
Thank you.
generation who grew up with that show. Now, to
Yep.
explain, I don't want to sit and compare because everybody's zamana is different. There's no point trying to say this happened and that happened. But the point is
Yeah.
that was huge. Now, please go ahead. So, Hip Hip Hooray
Yeah,
happened then.
and you'll identify with this because that was the first OG show which really gave the writers the credit, right?
Correct.
And I think that should be testimonial to everything that we do in our whatever in our endeavor to act and to make scripts. Is that the writer is king? And Cyrus, I know that you have that strong feeling also on a serious level that you really agree with the fact that writers should be given that credit. And talking about Hip Hip Hooray, the writers were the people who really every week came up with something, which just not for the sake of getting a filler, but kind of getting in real good stuff. And people actually remember dialogues and episodes and moments. And I think that's what makes it really awesome. So yeah, Hip Hip Hooray was something which I got lucky with. Nupur Ostana was the director, you know her. And then came my first film with Ken Ghosh called Ishq Vishk, which uh,
Let's just understand that hip hip hooray time. You were what? How old?
I
Uh,
was uh, I was
20,
20, 19, 20.
20.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So that's
right.
seriously young
Yeah,
to already
and
have that
and
response. Now,
pure.
now after hip hip hooray,
And
people know who you are. So now you have to watch out. So you're going to films. You've already got something to lose in a sense, as against other people who just come into it and nobody knows who they are.
yeah,
But
but
you're known.
with all modesty, Cyrus, Disney had given me a huge amount of popularity, which, thank God, and this is very important, and I think you'll again identify with this. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of creating that commonality because I
You
personally
must, otherwise I feel
identify
left
with you and
we call these
and
we
your
call these
career
No, you're
and
right.
your
They come
time.
in and disrespect us all the time. You're the first person to do this. Even though it's untrue most of the time. Please
So
drag me onto your path of legend. I'm happy to be
where
there.
where
Yeah.
we're two oldies basically reminiscing. Nobody's listening to us right now, so let's enjoy ourselves and
It
scratch each
just
other's
says
back.
you're born in 81. I could have been your
No, that's
dad. What do
wrong.
you
No,
no.
that's wrong. I'm born in 77. I think somebody has been kind enough to write that wrong. I'm on 15th November
What
77.
why can't they do that with
I'm going to
me?
be,
I want to be 77.
and
Google
I've
to take
tried to
note.
change it. I've
Yeah.
tried to change it. I'm like, please, listen, dude. But that's
Couple of the
how it
female
is.
VJs I've worked with, their ages remain the same for many years. There's a way to do it, obviously. I
You
mean,
were talking about
whether
Mini Mathur
I'm not taking
saying,
names. I'm just saying we all you can trace that our genesis was the same, and then suddenly I'm the grandfather, and these ones are still taking part in Miss India contest. It's not fair. Uh,
yeah, no, you're
Vishal looks
not. I'll tell you
exactly the
what.
same. Hey, Vishal, read this. Read this. Girish Patil, he's
Yeah.
one of our regulars. He's a vet, actually, a doctor,
Hey,
and he lives in LA. And he says that, damn, all those childhood memories of this. Look, this is fantastic. Immediately just see the
yeah,
curve. The fact that he remembers your look, he actually is correct. I think the hair is a little different. Maybe a little weight gain on the cheeks. But by and large, I wouldn't
yeah,
say you it's not like remember those guys we meet after
made
school
me
and
conscious.
college.
I'm putting off the camera.
After 10, 20 years, you meet a guy from school or college who's completely bald and double chinny, and you actually don't recognize them. Every class will have one or two guys, who just age badly. Oh, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not whatever. It's the way it is.
Have you been going for the school reunions and feeling really good?
Bro, bro, I know that's one thing, and secondly, I can't bear the conversation after some time. It's just living in the past for too long. Mrs. So and Mrs. That, and remember this. It's the same stories come back. It's we
Yeah,
meet in the
yeah,
same 11 stories, bro. It's too much.
yeah. I
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, that's. See, I'm okay. I'm going to get that on offline because I'm so excited to be talking to you because there's a kind of a commonality in the path, and there's so many common things which we can identify with. So I'm sorry, I'm putting myself into your legend
No,
group,
like
but
we
I.
both are from a generation that took conveyance seriously. We would collect it as
Oh,
everyday
yep.
shoot. Yeah,
There
yeah.
you
People don't
go.
understand.
You okay? This is it. This is where we can end because that word convince kind of
Lovely.
summarizes our career.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well
Hey, bro,
said. Well said, Cyrus.
$300 in the 90s, $300 a day, I mean, do the maths, 20, 30 days of work. I mean, it's decent money. Good drinking money
Dude,
and drinking is bad. You shouldn't do it. Yeah.
300 for you, being with being an MTV and all that stuff. I used to get like $125 and I had to really work on it,
Okay.
right? I
Vishal,
mean, if a pack up is at 9 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, it used to be like shit, man. The anxiety is coming in. Will I get my
yeah, yeah.
$125
We just
today
stand
or
in line
not?
and sign, and we just sign a receipt now. People don't know what we went through here. And that's a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
secular line, bro. Very secular line. The spot is with you.
yeah.
You're there. The driver, the cook, everybody's there. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
What great
Yeah,
memories
so
when.
I was just getting back to this thing. I was really lucky that I got a lot of popularity and recognition with Disney because that got a huge fan following, and that led me into Hip Hip Hooray. But you know what was really awesome, and probably it's just because I'm so dumb. There was a naivety, there was a purity. I did not know about that popularity. You see, at that time, recognizing and getting adulation was very different from now, right? So I didn't know. Believe me, I did not know, and that really helped me a lot up here, right? Because there were so few of us, right? It could have, and I've seen how it's got into the head of a lot of our
Actually,
contemporaries in our
what you're
field.
saying is spot on because I think if at 20 you're a superstar and you were, whether you like it or not, it's good that you want to sure about it or want to conscious about it. What do you do from
Aware,
there? Where do you go? By 25, where do you go? Because you've already tasted success. It doesn't really get much better. It's the same thing. So what do you do? By 25, we'll read about you joining ISIS or, I mean, something ridiculous like that. But anyway, that didn't happen, thank God. But it has happened to a lot of people. So here's our
yeah,
warning to all
that's
the
sad.
successful people watching this show, which is less than
Don't join ISIS.
0.3%. You don't, please. Yeah. Join peaceful groups. Get an NGO that helps, like road repair. Road repair has to be done from our side. Don't wait for the
I
government.
like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know you're a South Bombay boy, so you all don't have, the entire problems with auto rickshaws and
Don't you
potholes like
start.
we do.
I've lived in suburbs enough to know how much an auto rickshaw is hated. There is no more hated person in Mumbai than an auto rickshaw driver. He's
For a
hated by fellow auto
cyclist,
rickshaw drivers. That's how bad it is.
auto rickshaws have this. They have a fight at home and they come
Yeah. Because
towards
that's
your
the one
cycle.
guy they can bully. It's like that midgety guy in
Yeah.
class finally gets a guy shorter than him who joins in the 8th standard. He can't believe his
But
luck.
I have a solution to it.
Bolo?
So I bought myself a lovely electric cycle from Hero
Okay.
Honda. All right. I bought this 3.5 years ago before the pandemic. And that sudden burst of electric power that you get now, when that
Oh, is it?
auto is coming to attack you now, you just say, huh? How? It's like, doing that whole thing with that
So you
with
can
the
do like a
bull.
0 to 30 in no time.
Not well, you can do a 0 to 15, which is good enough to escape that last bit because a
Yeah.
rickshaw can't do 0 to 5.
No, he can't. And if he could, he
Yeah.
wouldn't know what to do with it because it's never happened before. It'd be like ridiculous. Like, yeah.
But speaking of rickshaws, bro, wow. 125 rupee conveyance, 10 rupees rickshaw ride, or 15 rupees,
Correct.
and then taking the BST bus and the local trains. My initial part of my career, even though I say this with a lot of humility that I come from a decently affluent family, thank you. But I did do the whole BST buses, local trains, especially when I used to come to Bombay Gym from all the way from Bandra. Walk across the Azad Maidan and
You see, all the way from
when I go
Bandra.
to Sterling.
Now, Bandra to Bombay Gym is like normal for most people, huh, by the way. The world
Now,
has
because of
changed
the ceiling.
completely. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
time, at that
Yeah.
time, the train to Churchgate from Bandra, if I used to take lucky to get a fast, I used to reach in
Yeah.
45 minutes plus walking across two Maidans to reach the Maidan of Bombay Gym
Yeah.
and get in there to play a game of tennis or swim, right? I know the ultimate sounds affluent, but the entire journey was so rickshaws or local trains, buses, these were absolutely normal and integral parts here and
And
fun.
let's tell the
I'm
and let's tell the
saddened that
truth.
our kids don't have that right now.
And this is the truth about the whole conjusification of the country, which we represented, which is no matter what happened, we'd save that 300, right? You'll take a ride of
Yeah.
someone, you'll use the bus, like you just said. You're cheapening yourself out of a need to just save the money, build a little cash. So we had our own petty cash going on before
So,
demonetization.
so to pick
I
up from
honestly,
that,
this was my
Cyrus.
alcohol drinking money, bro. Every week I would be like, okay, 4 shoots this week, okay, 1200. It went a long way in 2000, I mean, this is years
Oh, and
back.
when we did, and when people like Prahlad Kakkar give us shoots,
They gave
actions,
more.
the
Yeah.
the conveyance was like $600 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, are these my fees or are these this conveyance?
Nobody cares about
And
the
that,
fee.
that was
If you're getting paid 5 lakhs for the ad, also be like, okay, fine, whatever. But where's my conveyance? That was a huge thing.
conveyance.
We're not even
Yeah,
joking
yeah.
about this.
That is so true, and that is absolutely that resonates. Yeah.
Grim Fandango is saying, Vishal, ride safe, man. No need to dangle with autos. Yeah,
I don't. They dangle with me, bro.
yeah. But please don't
Yeah.
try that
And
if you're
thank
on a
you for the
cycle. Please
vent.
don't take Panga with an auto. He's able to do it with some
No.
special for power that he's got on the bike. I don't know if that's really true. Rickshaw versus cycle. It's one of Nachios presents, no? Tiger versus lion. Who's bigger? Who will win a fight? Here's Vishal with the electric cycle. And Ram Babu with the rickshaw. Oh man, what fun. Okay, listen,
But
let's
but
get I've got
I
to
I
finish up.
encourage
Yeah,
everybody to get an electric bike. Yeah, it's great
how
fun.
much does it cost, bro? Just for the record.
I paid 23,000 rupees for mine. This is that
Yes.
Hero Electra. Very nice, yeah. And
I
it's
have
and
no
it gives
idea
me
what
like I
cycles
charge it
cost,
for
but
4 hours.
you have to charge it
Yeah, yeah.
every day.
No. I charge it once every 3, 4, 5 days, and it
And then
lasts me for three, four, five
how
days.
long can you ride?
45 kilometers to 50 kilometers is the range. It goes up to 25 kilometers an hour. Fantastic, man. I go everywhere in a cycle.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
don't have a car. My wife has a car. I don't own a car.
Stop that. Stop all that. That's not fair to people who can't
Fact.
afford cars and all because they think, really, what a guy. You're not really a socialist. You just like cycling. It's a totally different thing, brother. It's not
Why can't
fair.
I put that perspective here? There
Okay,
are
fair
people who
enough.
are not. There will be people who will be only listening to it also, so they won't see the smirk on our
So
faces.
I'm not very materialistic in that sense. So I wonder if people from a lower economic strata look down on us as, man, you have money to buy better things. Why don't you? That's also like a crime. So it's almost like reverse abuse that we don't spend.
Yeah,
Like he's a famous star. He was on Disney. He's got movies. Just out with a new film. Blah blah blah. And he's on a cycle. They're thinking, yaar, ye gali hai. You're abusing me because you got the money and you're on the cycle, and I'm putting little away so one day I can buy my dream Maruti 800 second hand. So think about that, bro.
firstly, who says I have money? Thank you for that. But even if I
It's
did, this is a
Google, Baba. We
choice.
can just Google. I'll Google right now and Vishal Malhotra earning. Oh my God. And what did he spend? 23 grand on a cycle. Bro.
Oh,
I
by the
car
way,
ka
have you
phone
seen those
karo, bhai.
YouTube?
I car ka phone karo.
Have you seen, guys? I recommend everybody listening and watching this, go and see those YouTube videos. How much is Cyrus Brocha's net worth?
Oh, that's big.
Cyrus
Yeah.
Brocha's
We've done
life.
it on the show.
You know,
That's
what is
known. Come on,
Cyrus
come on.
Brocha's wife?
I
Cyrus Brocha's spouse.
I live with my parents. Which successful
You're a
guy is
lucky
living with his
man. My
parents?
parents
Yeah,
kicked me out. They kicked
yeah,
me down the hill right
yeah.
from there.
That's because you refuse to buy them a car. You're like, Dad, Mom, good news, bad news. Good
It's
news,
because
you
of
will
Ravi
get.
Chacha. Ravi Chacha. It all comes down to Ravi Chacha.
Okay, there's a story behind Ravi Chandran. That story comes out after the break. But before we get into that, I want to finish the most important part and why we're here is not just about his life, but about this film, which is again another game changer. I mean, an NFT funded movie. You got to tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about this background before of the film itself and how do I mean, if you can, how does this happen?
Right. So I'll make this quick. Interesting. Back in June, during the lockdown, it sounds very fancy. I wanted to kind of just diversify my portfolio. I wanted to kind of get moving from stocks and commodities and all that stuff and do a little more. So I was listening and I was listening to this word called, repeatedly, this word was coming up called Bitcoins. And I had no ilm about it. I had no knowledge about it.
Nice,
And
nice plug.
yeah, thank you. And basically, what happened in that sense is that there was this platform called Clubhouse, and I decided to kind of open a room out there, and I created a room called um, Let's Talk Crypto for Dummies, and 4,000 people from all over the world came in and really overwhelmed me. I was tremendously intimidated. I said, "नहीं यार, dude, मैं यहाँ सोच रहा था कि I'm going to buy bitcoins when I didn't realize that one bitcoin is in the range of 35 to 40 lakh rupees." So I said, "मेरी औकात में मैं वापस आ गया."
दो
And then I did
साइकिल
a
की
little
बात है
research.
भाईजान, दो साइकिल की
Hmm.
बात है.
Okay, okay, okay. Lakhs, 30 lakhs, not 30,000. But anyways,
Uh,
went ahead and did a little bit of research on YouTube. Chanced upon NFTs really, really resonated with me because it had that element of art and freedom and able to do what you want at your own terms and not go through a middle person and do it at your diktat. So I studied about it and then put out a few feelers that I'd love to do NFTs. Was fortunate that people and artists from all over the world kind of reached out to say, let's collaborate. Went ahead, just had one little condition in my mind that, and I think you'll understand this and resonate with it, Cyrus, that I just wanted that artist to be an Indian. And I'm not a pseudo nationalist or a pseudo patriot at all. I mean, I love my country and all. But the reason was that, we have kind of developed and chanced upon getting some kind of a branding and people know us. So if you're creating an NFT, you might as well be around us and about our career. So that's why I did it. And that happened and released my first NFT, and that sold at 5x. Then the second one came out, and one of them is collected by Maroon 5, the band.
पाजी ये
Got a
5x
lot of
क्या होता है?
मतलब आपने अगर 100 रुपए में इसे बिड पर डाला है, was an auction the first one, it sold at 500 rupees. So it was put at zero point
Oh,
0.5 Ethereum and it sold at 2.5 Ethereum. So the
okay, got
first
it.
one was a one of one piece, which became, which I put out as an auction. So when you sell NFTs, you have choices of how you can sell it. Like you can sell it as an auction, you can sell it as many pieces at a fixed price, you can sell one at a fixed price, like that.
But you have no
Correct?
idea it's going to sell. Oh, you
Yeah,
sure it's
yeah,
going
yeah.
to sell? I mean,
No, you don't know, no? You don't know. It's like you make a piece of art or you write a book or you launch a show. You don't know how well it's
and
going
you
to
put
do.
it out there.
It's the same thing. And you put it out there. So I put it out there. It got a lot of traction. It sold at 5x. The second one was collected by a lot of people and including Maroon 5. I got to talk to them live. My
One
daughter,
sec,
who's
the
a
band?
huge fan. The band, yes,
Oh
the band.
God, thank God my daughter's in
Yeah,
school. She'll come berserk.
yeah.
Huh?
Dude, my daughter, who at that time was 5.5, 6, so we actually had an entire conversation where this platform got them and us and me to talk, and I was like,
Wow.
oh, I'm having a chat with these guys. So it was amazing, and that kind of got a lot of
Maybe
traction.
they grew up on
So
Disney as well. Maybe they saw you because Vishal, I don't age you, but I think these guys are slightly younger. And it's possible that they
they
actually saw
are,
you in Disney Club,
they are,
etc., and said, man, who
yeah.
knows?
Well, if they came to
It's a
India and
global
watched
world.
DD Metro, yeah.
Yeah.
But to cut a long story shorter, bro, getting to the point where it caught the fancy of the mainstream media in India and internationally in a very, very big way, right? And that kind of really helped me kind of keep creating NFTs, selling them. And I know that you love the theater. I know that you love films also to a certain extent, and we always want to make our own film, right? And the picture banana, and I also wanted to do that. I just did it in a little bit of a unique way where I said, I don't want to take money from anybody else. I'm selling these NFTs. Let me think about selling these NFTs, converting it into rupees, paying my tax on it, and then
You're
whatever is
making it
left.
sound so simple. Vishal, I'm just thinking anyone listening to the show is thinking about Mera time to aa gaya abhi. And immediately on the spot they're calling out to artists around the
Yeah,
world, whatever, and think they're going to just get a pocket full of money and a huge, register there for them to play with. But that's not exactly what's going to happen. It's a punt, it's a lottery also. I mean, it has to work. You have to get the right people, you have to get buyers, and of course you've got a name in the market, so you attract some attention. So let's just tell people
you're
it's not
right,
like
Cyrus. I mean, and
100%
that's
guaranteed
amazing that
dream.
you're putting that up so clearly. Yeah, it's a fact. It's not as, I mean, I'm not here trying to patronize it or trying to
I know
sell
I'm
it.
very worried about
I'm just
getting
saying that
sued
that's
because people, my friend
why.
Kunal went and did something with for weight loss, which is not exactly done through a technical sort of stream and the process. I won't get into it, but the point being, he lost weight because he dieted and nothing else. But people have
Yeah,
misunderstood that he's
discipline.
used some, yeah, exactly. So the same way here, it's you who have got the NFTs because of you. Little bit of luck and a little bit of who you are is what played a role. People shouldn't think that they can just wake up and do it. Having said that, you have to dream as well. So please try. And if you fail, you fail. Don't blame us. In fact, you must fail.
Yeah,
Fail many times.
it's a bit
Yeah.
of the dream world. It's the inspiration, it's the motivation, it's the thrive, it's the work, and it's luck,
But
and
you've
it's
opened the
you
door.
know you.
You've opened the door.
I do realize that. I mean, it's a blueprint which is available for the rest of the world.
Indians never open
So
doors. We're not
I
even
do,
if
I
you
do,
do.
I do, and
You're a
I see that you
cyclist. You're
have
like a
also.
Westerner. You're like a rich Westerner who turns
Oh
back.
God,
I need cycle, save the environment. You're in the wrong country, bro. We have to send you
no,
somewhere
no.
outside the states of
See,
Ukraine and Russia. Choose any, and off you
okay,
go. Yeah.
right. No, but that's I can say I can Cyrus doesn't know that I've kind of I mean now it's sounding like I've pretty much talked to you all my life, but you have been a big influence, and I've seen you like let me tell everybody, Cyrus, I'm not talking to you, I'm telling everybody else this,
There's
that
nobody
when you're in
here,
school,
Baba.
yeah,
Nobody watches the
whoever,
show. Okay,
let
mom,
me fool myself,
come
no,
here. I'm
yeah.
getting you one person.
My wife is I've made my wife,
Two,
my dog, my daughter, my bike,
three,
and my
four.
driver and my गुर्गा तू इतने लेट क्यों आया कोई नहीं देख रहा था बैठ ना
Why
we're
is
all sitting
why
here
is
in
your
a
driver not to be rude? But why is he in the living room?
why not
Is
nobody's seeing the show yaar I thought listen little
it
audience
an auto rickshaw which you portable brings it up?
I picked him up I said तू मुझे मारना चाहता है ऊपर आ यहाँ पर बैठ
You
but
gave him a
here's what I
job.
want to say about
Yeah.
Cyrus I want to say about this
Huh.
about Cyrus then you're in school and you look up to these guys who are well not in your head they're cool and they're like those people the OGs who you want to be like and Cyrus was one of those people but what was weird about Cyrus and me and from my point of view is the fact that you know I really got to whenever I interacted with Cyrus, he doesn't even remember. But whenever I did, and whenever I met him and saw him from far, it was at this club that we both frequent in the south of Mumbai.
Don't tell the
And
drinking stories. Tell the non-drinking stories. We've also met
yeah, yeah.
normal
So
times.
I
Huh.
usually met him after the rugby matches, after everything, after
But
the
that's
naked sessions in the men's locker room, and then when he used to be at the bar. At that time, he was so intoxicated that anybody
oh
would come to him,
god.
he wouldn't remember. And I
Yeah,
think I landed up at that time. And he's like, "Ah,
Vishal.
ye to bacha hai,
No, no, I
ye to
got to
bacha
stop
hai."
you at the naked sessions in the dressing room because people think you're being flippant, but you're actually not. This is actually the horror for
It's the
young men.
you it's as relevant as the word conveyance, right?
Yeah,
Am I
it
right?
is.
I have to tell everybody culture shock. I'm a Bandra boy. I come here, we're a little more conservative than you South Bombay Richie Riches. So the difference between the club, I want to say this very clearly. The
Please.
difference between a men's room, the difference between the men's changing room in a Kharjum Khana and a Bombay Gym Khana is that in Bombay Gym Khana you'd see men walking around naked and putting their leg up and talking like, yeah, what's happening, man? The markets are really down and I really need to do this. And my
Exactly.
secretary is really hot. In Kharjim Khana, it's going to be very different because it's going to be a lot more conservative,
Hmm.
lot more hairier, lot more Sindhier.
Yeah.
But these
Yeah.
are the two
Shout out
grand
to the
differences.
Sindhis. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I'm half, so
Yeah.
there
There
you
you
go.
go. Huh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so
so what?
that's
This
what.
is a
So I
conveyor
really
belt
looked
of
up.
flesh that people should never have to go through. So Vishal,
Oh, God.
what you're saying, I mean, I just love to see expressions for the first time. Exactly
Yes,
what you said. The
yes,
first
I
time is like the
know.
virginal guy, and he sees the oldest men out there, with their big boobs and all that,
Stop,
walking around and
stop.
talking, having these nonchalant conversations about nothing in particular, and literally it all dangling, and one leg up as you described, and you got to see the expression of the newbie. The newbie is fried. They want to look at. I know everyone's a newbie once. All of us have been at some point. Now we
This
welcome you,
is
the next
this
generation.
is something which I'd like to kind of say very clearly, but I have to take out my glasses very stylishly for.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to confess,
uh,
I've seen Cyrus Brocha naked.
uh. All right, 2 minutes silence. That's why you turn to NFTs. You need to find another dimension.
Okay, control. Okay. I'm all
The
right.
question that we have to ask is, why did you linger? That's the question, but
I
perhaps for another
did.
day.
It was that fraction of a second.
Yeah,
Yeah, about this
God,
also.
but
But
no,
it was a
folks have.
fraction of a second, and it's just imprinted in
I
my
I
brain.
wish I could take a camera into one of these the saunas and those kind of things in some of these places
Oh no,
just to
no,
show
no.
people what we think is so we get immune to it. It's like doctors are immune to death in the end. You see corpses and all that, but people who are not immune to it just it's they're horrified. My son, he was 15 or 14 or something when he first came in and whatever. He was like,
Why did you do
Dad,
that to him?
no, he said, Dad, how can they do this? All these old men walking around naked. He actually told me that. I said, son, don't be so conservative now. This is the world. It's okay. They're not criminals. He said, no, one uncle comes and talks to me. His thing is dangling. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Okay, that
He's
can
not a
sound so
pedophile.
wrong.
Yeah, I
That
know.
can
I
sound
know.
so wrong.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I have a question. How do you distinguish between in being in the jacuzzi with other gentlemen, between the bubbles which are coming out of the heat
True.
and
True.
from the stomach? That
Yeah,
is.
true. You can't.
I'm not figured that out yet.
You're right. And the thing is that as the age group gets higher and higher, you're really asking
Yeah.
for trouble because we all know nothing's going to be held in for long. That's
True.
the way
That's
it is.
true.
Let's get back to your lovely career. We are wasting time on stupid things, and I have to take a break. So before that, we cut off on Ishwish. Before we come to Ilm, very quickly. So as Hip Hip Hooray became like the big show of the generation sort of thingy, then you moved to movies. So Ishwish was the
Yeah.
first one.
That's right. With Ken Ghosh.
So,
That's
so
true.
quickly in 3 minutes, take us through how much money you made and the list of films,
I made 40,000 rupees on Ishq. It
which may be
was,
true. We don't know. Yeah,
yeah, it's a fact.
yeah.
And there was a connection again here because it was
Kismet connection.
MTV. It was MTV had something to do with it. So it was an MTV hunt which was happening, and uh, I
Shanaz
think
was in
now I
it.
can say that
Yeah,
Shehnaz was in it. Yes. So we
yeah,
all apparently we all went through the MTV hunt, right?
right.
And yeah, so Ishq happened. Ken became like one of my dearest friend, and he still remains. And I know that you are also friendly with him. That became a rage. That character Mambo, where
Yeah.
Kamla Phulo ka Gamla Bada Kab Karu Main Hamla, and all those Polly Pereira. You're too South Bombay to know this, Cyrus, but those
Yeah.
dialogues
No,
became
I
the
saw the film
goosebumps.
because of Shanaz more than anything else, Vishal.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
we were
yeah.
sort of forced to watch it. I'm trying to remember. So you weren't paired up with her. I can't remember there were three couples or the two
No,
or three
so there was
couples.
Amrita Rao, there was Shahid Kapoor, there was
Yeah.
Shehnaz, and there was me. And there was
Four.
these were
Okay.
the principal characters. Four.
Yeah.
These were the principal characters of the film. So that film really became a rage. So I got really fortunate because it was Disney, Hip Hip Hooray, Ishq Vishk, right? And that kind of led to a gamut of lovely films which came. Some did really, really well. But fortunately, and I'm going to sound really, really horrible saying this, but fortunately, none of them tanked, right? But there is a flip side to that after the break.
Oh, yeah, we should take a break. And Vishal, you asked me to say this. This is something you've written for us, so I'm going to read this. This is from his heart.
Wow.
Vishal said today he asked for his bank statement to be sent via mail, the old school way, because he thought maybe if he sees it on an actual paper, it might make more sense to him. But no, it makes no sense even on a hard copy. There are some miscellaneous charges. What are these charges? And then you can see the expression on his face. He was so upset. Expression, please. There's a
I
upset
have no clue
Vishal.
what you're talking about. I
Uh,
have zero clue, Cyrus, what you're talking about, bro.
we talked about these charges on these old bank statements on paper and print that you get. Yeah. And I mean, who do you
No,
ask? Where do they come from? What's the source of all that? The point being,
no idea.
and hear me when I say this, I've heard that Jupyter Money app, and I'll hold for that. Jupyter Money app is much better. It provides better customer service. There's a chat bot on the app. Take this down. This is going to come in handy for you with your next
Wow.
NFT film release. There's a chat bot on
Yeah,
the app which is available 24/7. It connects you to an actual human being, Vishal. A human
that's
being
amazing.
within
I
seconds will
love
talk to
human
you.
beings.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the app also has a feature called Insights, which helps you track your spends with a real-time category-wise spend breakdown. So you know exactly what's happening. You can't just fast forward and hope for the best.
I
This
want
is
to
it's
download Jupiter now. Have
you
you?
start doing it while I go to the last couple of lines you sent me. This is much
But
better
I'm
than
on
the
the
pie
phone.
chart he tried to scribble this morning from his bank statement, which only have inexplicable charges. So, kids,
Yeah.
and this is coming from Vishal, who owns kids in a sense, and I mean this in a right way because he's the king of the kid world.
No, 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 no,
Uh,
no. Take that back right now, please.
Okay, let me rephrase that. He's the
Please.
generation, the first generation of kids who had their own special brand of entertainment will remember. So he's like the Elvis or the Amitabh or Dilip Kumar of that generation. So don't be like him. Check out Jupiter.money. That was part of the script. Don't be like him came at the wrong time. If I rewind and explain the reference to context, you'll understand what
Got
I'm
it,
saying.
got it. You sold
Yeah.
me. I love Jupyter, and I want to manage
You're already on the
whatever
Jupyter
little
banking
funds
app.
that I have.
There you
I am.
go.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. I
So
am.
kids don't be like him or me who are busy with this ridiculous miscellaneous charges on paper. Check out Jupyter.money or download the Jupyter banking app on your Android or iOS phones. And let's go into a quick Jupyter money break. Vishal, please stay. We'll try and get as much as we can in the next 25 minutes. This is a short break. When we return, relatives from Punjab for Vishal in about a few
So, I
seconds.
I'm
faced
right
tons of
away.
problems in understanding my previous bank's reward system. How does it work? How many reward points am I entitled to? Till when are these reward points valid? It's all so damn complicated. So, I've decided to take matters in my own hands, and by that I mean I've decided to use Jupyter. Now, on Jupyter, to track your rewards, apparently you just need to click on this reward tab here. And here they are, my rewards. See, I love seeing my rewards because I'm a big sucker for free stuff. Free. Give me anything free and I'm all in. But what if I want to convert my rewards for cash? Again, easy enough. Just click on the convert to cash button and you can translate your reward points into cash or gold. That's it. Now, isn't that surprisingly straightforward? If you like easy to win reward points that can be easily tracked at a tap as well, just download Jupyter on the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Oh, and now back to the show. Tap.
Hello. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Storytellers and Storysellers, Vineet meets the CEO of Slum Soccer, Dr. Abhijit Barse, the inspiration behind the film Jhund. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus talks to Shriram, Shreyas and myself, Silvery. They discuss the thieves of Sangli who use an excavator to dig out an ATM machine. On The Habit Coach, Ashton tells us how we can make being bold a part of our personality. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav deep dives into Mughlai cooking with a biryani versus pulao debate. I'd be interested in that. And on Hanswani, hear the story Antibodies, exploring men's tendency to avoid responsibility and blame fate. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, do tell a friend. It really helps us out a lot. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on, and you can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, India Water Portal, and Jupyter, a digital banking app.
Yes, we're back after the break. And where's our guest? Oh, thank God.
I'm here.
God, he didn't disappear. We have to mention quickly, Vishal, before we finish, that there's a season 2. Your thing called Imagine That Season Part 2 has started, right? As well. So you're very much, your leg is still very much in that world as well. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So season 2 got completed, and season 3 is starting now by the end of this month. Just waiting for this film to complete and release that, and then we get into the shoot of that.
Too much work?
So, no, never. Been
How
sitting
are
at
you going to
home
have
for the
time for
last
your
2 years.
electric bike here?
I'm going to ride to the shoot
How far is the location?
from my place, about on the Western Express Highway. So if I don't die, about 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not too bad. And you
Yeah,
probably
on
go
the
early
bike.
morning. It will be
In the
bearable.
car, it would take me about 45 minutes.
You heard that, Silvery? You want to save this country? Desh ko bachao?
No,
There's only one way.
seriously, yaar.
Everyone get on a cycle. And you can go 2 on a cycle also, by the way. It's allowed.
And
You have to wear a helmet?
great cardio.
But you have to wear a
Absolutely.
helmet.
Yeah.
But I've seen like my wife's cycles and the helmet is ridiculous. I mean, if she crashes, what's it going to do? You just keep the hair in place.
I don't know, yaar. I just trust it in the sense of I wear it not because of the rules.
I want you to
wear it
fall
because
off and show me what happens. Can you do that like a demonstration video?
I love you. You're the OG of everything good in my life, but
Here
I just
comes the
won't do that
slap.
for anybody. I just won't do that, yeah, please. I don't wear knee pads. I don't wear those things. Those actually should be more important, because if you injure this, this is
Right.
strong. This little bit also, it'll just go. But
That's true.
right. But one thing I've learned is I ride into the traffic, and not literally. I mean,
Ooh,
I'm going in the I
in
ride
the
in
wrong
the right
direction.
side. Wrong
Is that
direction.
allowed?
Well, no, listen, there are no rules for cars. What will there be rules for bikes here? And
I don't want
actually,
to
like an
start.
idiot,
Silvery,
waved
I
down
don't
the
want to
signal.
start. Tell the young man when
Acha,
I see
sun.
someone on a one way and that too on two wheeler, my blood just starts rushing. But it's Vishal. So I'll just
No,
quietly
no, no.
bow my head
No,
and
one
keep
minute. I
going.
agree with you.
Huh.
I agree with you. But look, I'm looking at safety from my life point of view. Okay, it's like your life is at stake, and I'm absolutely very close to the footpath, so I don't bother anybody, and I actually stop and all.
I
Why
get
am
what
I
you're saying.
justifying
It's like a
myself so much?
stampede of buffalo. You want the buffalo to be coming towards you so you can see them and then veer out of the way
Yeah,
rather than
yeah, because they
they're
usually
following
get to
you
me
and
from
then, yeah, you don't
behind.
have a chance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Aisha has
it's
commented in the chat, can I buy a better bike?
Oh, that's
Aisha,
my
Cyrus's
wife.
wife.
What she
Yeah,
means is, Vishal, can you loan us the money to get a better bike for her? Now you mentioned this electric bike. I'm going to
sure.
get it.
You
You
can
get
get
another
another
bike.
I can
wife.
I can I can get you a damn good deal on it, huh, by the way.
One second. One second. Let me understand this.
On
So
the
I
wife or
swap
the
the wife
bike?
for a bike.
Yeah.
I give up the wife and I get the bike. This is what she's saying, or
On
the other
the
way around?
Come on, bro, don't be stupid. On the wife, of course.
Huh?
Yeah,
Can
of
we talk
course.
of this a little bit later in a safer place and be on
Sure,
more candid about what we want with our lives?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's leave my wife alone for 5 minutes and let's get on with Sylvie quickly before we go to the AMAs.
Yes,
Now you, I have to do this. It's a little embarrassing,
yes.
but you
Uh,
insisted on telling him you're related. And Vishal
so
did
we
his best.
are.
He's a professional actor. He's a
No, we are.
professional freaking actor
Vishal and I
who's
are
sat
related.
through Bombay's an
Very
old man.
Durka.
Huh,
Very Durga related. So he
huh.
is the brother-in-law of Ravi Chawla, who is my father's cousin. But it's Durga, so it's like third cousin or second cousin of my dad or something. So
What's your father's name?
my father's name is Vijay Kumar Takkar. I don't think you know that name.
Right.
Like we met,
Does-
you and I have met in person when I was I was like maybe 10 or 12 years old, and we were all like very
Starstruck.
It was
like
a fangirl
starstruck.
moment for me to meet
Yeah,
you.
yes, of course, of course it was. But we
So
were like we were all
लड़के
huge
वाले
fans
हैं
of
यार.
Disney.
लड़के वाले हैं.
Disney,
So
No, let's
how it
let-
yeah,
goes.
this is a Punjabi conversation at its best. Let's see what happened. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. He goes
yeah,
back
I'm
yeah,
to school
dragged
the
into
next
this for
day.
somehow.
No, he
yeah.
I'm
tells
here
it
to
the
talk
boys
about
in
my
school.
film. I'm here to talk about.
Forget it. Listen, he's like, Vishal Malhotra,
यार
oh,
क्या यार?
mera chacha hai. I was at his place
Yeah, yeah,
yesterday only.
correct. Yeah.
And he's 12 years
You know,
old.
I've actually
Huh.
said that to people.
There you go.
Okay, I'm
Huh.
distantly whenever Vishal comes up, like we'll be watching Ishq Wishq or Kismet Connection will come on, and Vishal will be there on screen. I'll be like, "Hey, that's a cousin of mine," and they'll be like, "What rubbish? Oh, you can't be." And then I'll have
Yeah,
to explain to them this very
we
this
I
very
Indians do
want the
this,
roundabout
world to
way.
know.
No,
I
huh.
Yeah,
want the world to know that
I'm not related.
this guy
Not.
here is more than a cousin. He's my blood brother, right? He's all there for me. He's been there for me at my deepest
Yes,
hour, my
exactly.
darkest tragedies. He more than anyone. So next time he
Yes.
sees me and says that this here is my cousin, he's lying.
Yeah.
He's my blood
It's
brother.
actually
More than a brother.
Vishal
Much
saying
closer,
it
much
back from
closer,
the screen.
much closer.
Yes, he's
But
related.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us Indians who have some vague relationship with some famous guy and always make it really
It's
close by
that.
the
It's
second
always
time you
that.
tell the story.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
mera chacha, or
Yeah,
my
yeah.
cousin.
यार जिगरी
I mean,
यार
it's
अरे अरे
yeah,
we
exactly.
grew up together.
So embarrassing if they ever meet in the same frame and a third party is there to
Yeah,
ask the question. Oh my
yeah.
god.
Wow.
Tu
Oh
janta
yeah.
ho mera
तो दादा
cousin
मेरा
kaun
cousin
hai?
कौन
Uh,
है? Great shot. Nice.
something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so the film. Let's get back to Ilm, and then we can quickly take
Yes.
AMAs for a few minutes. We didn't speak about the actual. What's the story? What's the movie about? We talked about the production process and all that.
Right. So, Ilm is a film which is a relationship between a 12-year-old boy who's an exceptionally great artist and his grandmother who live at Aksa village in Mumbai. So they
Wow.
are from a lower stature of the economic part of society, unfortunately. But they really were a happy family till he gets orphaned and he loses his parents. Both his parents are in an accident 6 months prior to this story starting, which is kind of because at that point your kids at the age of 12 really know their parents, right? They're just kind of that's the strongest bond that's been created, and that really shuts that kid down. And the only thing that gives happiness to this kid is portraying drawing painting portraits of his grandmother. And when his grandmother is also kind of nearly taken away from him, it's the inspiration story of the underdog kind of hopefully striving ahead and making things all right and making his life okay and all those kind of things.
Is it a
That's what
growing up
Ilm is
sort
about.
of growing up tale, or is it just it remains at that point where he's 12 and dealing, coping with this?
Yeah, so the whole story happens within 2 days, time frame wise.
Oh,
But the prelude to it is the fact that he's lost his parents and got great music in it also. And I just didn't want to treat it like nothing. I wanted to treat it like a feature film. and
And
I'm
Silvery,
glad that I have.
your
Yeah, sir.
uncle Vishal is playing a 12-year-old.
Yes.
And
Yeah, wow.
that,
Very
I
impressed.
mean, that's fantastic. That's talent, bro.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
as you said, little weight on the cheeks. That's about it, and that's come
Yeah.
because of the
Hey, come on.
direction and
Dig
no
out a
working
picture.
out.
Dig out a picture of Vishal from like 20 years back. Come on. We'll put it up right now while we're
Yeah, yeah.
talking. While we're
It's
talking. You
very
dig it up.
Yeah,
hardly any aging. Yeah.
No,
Like
I'm,
no
I'm not
aging.
lying. This is not praise.
Yeah.
Because you can see that there's so many guys. I mean, I've aged quite a bit, but we saw a picture of me yesterday. Silver, you'd say? So some
No,
people age
absolutely.
really,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Vishal hasn't aged at all since the time I saw him when I was
Because
12
he's
years
your
old.
cousin. Your genetics are
Yeah.
great, yaar. What are you
Yeah, I
saying?
know, right?
Huh?
It's
yeah.
it's
We
in
got
the
the same
family.
blood.
Yeah.
तेरे गांव में
Blood is
Yeah.
in
सब
our
लोग
veins.
20 20 22 साल का है.
I'm actually 55, but yeah,
Can
I
you
look like
imagine?
this is
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
There you go.
you
The
can't tell.
same
It's all
same
thanks
DNA,
to
same blood running
Yeah,
through our veins, man.
and
exactly.
Vijay
Anup
Chacha,
hair oil. A shout out to
Vijay
Anup hair
Chacha
oil.
is
Vijay ne Ravi. Vijay kaun hai?
Ravi,
Vijay
Ravi,
also. Vijay, sorry,
Ravi,
his
Ravi,
Vijay
dad.
Ravi.
is
His
his
dad.
father.
Oh,
No, he's
my
paying
father.
attention.
Vijay's
Okay.
father.
He's paying
Okay.
attention to the script, yaar. We aren't.
Okay.
He forgot his own father's name. Or what?
You
Cyrus?
forgot your own
No,
father's name.
I thought you were saying Ravi. I thought you were saying
He's like, who the fuck is Vijay?
Oh
who's
God.
Vijay?
Yeah, it's
I don't
okay.
know who
Yeah, even I got tossed, bro, but he's your dad. That's not on. Silvery, no.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
No comebacks.
Well, sorry, Dad.
Okay. While
Okay,
we search
fair
for the
enough.
No,
picture, should
but
we take the?
Yeah.
here's before you go into the AMAs and kick me out. But really, I just want to come back to this, and it might sound so stupid, but this seems like the path. Feels like I've kind of found a calling in directing and producing and making films. So it's lovely that it kind of completes an entire circle of things. And honestly, Cyrus, you have to, and you will be. I mean, I'm going to drag you out of your house, even if it's for a scene, but you have to be a part of anything that I do in the future because, kudos, man. Really,
It's
it'd be
slightly
awesome.
sensitive topic, but otherwise, I don't mind putting the Bombay Old Man scene in, which is for a piece of comedy. I mean, the
Yeah,
kids had a
and
bad weekend.
we'll
Lost his
badly
grandmother.
pixelate it.
He comes to the
We'll
BG.
badly pixelate it.
You're pixelated, yeah, but it's just his point of view. So it's all on him. We don't see what he sees, but we see him. I want to shoot that one day. I just want to show people the
Right, man.
reaction because people just die. Vishal can recall that first time he must have just died. It's one guy worse than the next. It's just ridiculous.
And you
Uh,
got to act cool. Okay,
and you
okay.
gotta act
You got to
normal.
act
Yeah,
cool. When
yeah,
you act in, you're like, your life is
yeah.
shattered around you, and you got to act cool, right? And so you can't run out when every part of your body has left you and gone out of those bar doors, which for some reason Bombay Gym has in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right? But it's crazy. But anyways, listen, guys, I don't want to take too much more of your time, and thank you for having
No,
me
we're
here,
doing
Cyrus.
the AMAs.
Always
You're
a
not
pleasure.
going anywhere.
Oh, you're
We're
not
doing
kicking
the
me out?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great, great. I'm here.
Why would we kick you out of the
I'm here.
AMAs? We need you,
I'm here.
bro.
I'm
What's
here.
wrong?
Shah
The
Rukh,
guy
Shah Rukh.
doesn't remember his
Shah-
dad's name. Okay,
Yeah.
I still think I'm
Just one
22.
sec. What-
We are the wrong people
You
to do
guys
the
want me?
AMAs. Yeah,
You guys want me to be here for
we
another
want you.
5-10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Shah Rukh, 1 minute. I'll just come back.
Okay.
It's fine.
Can you believe?
Okay.
Cool.
It's not Shah Rukh Khan. Shah Rukh Irani is a model
Yeah.
doing very well.
Sure,
They're very
Chef.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Man.
Yeah.
Chalo.
All right. Anyways, the first one comes in from Grim Fandango, who says, Vishal. So some of these
Oh.
are cheeky. Okay, some of these are cheeky questions. So Vishal,
Nice.
how was it like being the brand ambassador for Harpic?
Fantastic. Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what it is. All right. I ring the bell. A very hot or a pretty girl opens the door.
Very
all the
convenient.
time.
हाँ विशाल
Who's-
तेरे लिए
who's-
बहन चोद
who's
only a
all
pretty
alone?
girl opens.
Who's-
जब मैं bell
Who's
ring
all
करता है
alone? Who's all
Yeah.
alone at home?
Yeah.
I brush her aside and she goes, Vishal! And I brush her aside and I go straight through her bedroom to her bathroom. And we have the most
I
intimate
blame Bombay Gym.
conversation.
I blame Bombay Gym. There has to be a
It is
reason
the
why you do
basis. It is the basis of everything I've done, Bombay Gym Khana.
that.
Right?
Really, bro.
So it's
Now you
epic.
put it that way.
And what a brand there.
What is the creative guy thinking? There's a hot MILF opens the door and this young guy goes, oh, child, pot pika. Excellent.
So
Superb.
yeah. But you know what? Okay. So should I give a little bit of a seriousness also to this very quickly?
Yes,
or
why
do you
not?
not want
Yes,
me to?
please. Yes.
Uh,
Yes, please.
Honestly, somebody for 6 years, I was a brand ambassador, opening the door and saying Vishal, Vishal, Vishal. What happens is, and that ad really is on loop on every channel. It's
Yeah.
not on every place in the world.
can't escape
and it's
it.
the highest. It's got 98% of the market value in that product and all that stuff. But that really kind of resonates your name very, very strongly with a lot of people, and that as somebody in the entertainment business goes a long way. So that was a serious good aspect
Also,
of it.
wherever he goes, if he rings the bell and whoever opens the door, they immediately run to the bathroom and open it for him, expecting him to go there, straight
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, even now Ravi does that, and Vijay uncle does that too.
Ravi, and there's a Vijay also. And just to
Yes,
remind you,
correct.
ki Vijay ye
Yes.
hai, Ravi wo hai. Clear your
Vijay is the
mind.
father,
Correct.
Ravi
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the
Yeah.
brother-in-law.
Don't give him too much, little at a time. Yeah, okay.
Correct,
Digest that.
correct.
Okay, next
All right.
one.
Next one comes in from Girish Patil, who says Vishal looks exactly the same as he was 25 years ago. Damn, all those childhood memories of Disney are coming back. Vishal, what did you do to stop aging?
Hey, get me a picture, ma. Come on, Sylvie. Where's Vinay? What is he doing? It's got to
Yeah,
be a
yeah, we're
nice
getting.
picture. Take one of his,
I'm sure there is.
the Disney Club pictures and all. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't go to right in the beginning, just 15 years back.
Yep.
Sorry,
Sure.
sorry.
I will just
Please
get it.
answer. What did you do to stop aging? How do you answer that?
I don't know what I did, but I just remained. I mean, it sounds really senti, but I just remained happy. I just did what I wanted to. From a career point of view, I didn't do stuff which I was supposed to. I did stuff that I wanted to. From a film point of view, from meeting, from friends, from being with people in a certain manner, I really was a little bit of a rebel at that time without realizing it, because consciously I didn't want to be the run of the mill, and I didn't want to be what people want me to be. So I just really surrounded myself with my same friends who I love to death. I watch Cyrus a lot. Watch Cyrus, rewind 25 years and watch everything Cyrus has done. All the
Cyrus
bakas,
Saukar,
all
he's
the
talking about
shows.
Silvery.
Not Saukar.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Not Saukar. Saukar is also a legend, but no, you
He
are
got
not like
married,
Cyrus.
by the way.
Those are-
He
I
finally got
know.
married. It was
Um,
amazing. I mean, we medicated the wife and all that, and God bless the couple. But yeah,
yeah.
we passed
What's his
happily.
wife's
Sorry,
name?
Vaishali.
Ah, okay. Right.
Were you
Great girl.
testing me? Okay, let's test the third participant. What's your father's name, Silvery?
My father's name is I think it is Kumar Takkar Vijaya Konda.
And
You wish.
Vishal, my beta here. Actually, the parents watch the show from time to time, so
Yeah,
you might
they
have a
do.
relative living with you
Yeah.
outside on another cycle of his own very soon.
The
Yeah.
bell keeps ringing. Bhaiya, Chacha, Bua. Somebody
Yeah.
calls me Chachi. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Somehow, पहले पीछे बना दिया,
Harpic
मैं
in
तुरंत मर गया
reverse.
हूँ.
Yeah.
Harpic
Like,
in reverse. You play only the
people,
female characters.
yeah, people come to people's house. Ki, hi, I'm out of coffee. Can I get some coffee? People come to Vishal's house. Hey, I'm out of Harpic. Can you please give me some?
Yeah.
So-
No, that doesn't happen.
oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
That
Not
was just
yet.
Coming
under the
soon.
bed.
Okay, we got the picture apparently.
Oh,
Oh, we do.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
So this is give us the age. Would you have any idea, Vishal?
Well, that one on the left with the cap was, I think about
17,
20,
18.
27 years ago. This Dabu Ratnani did my one and only portfolio, which was
Huh.
when I just started Disney Club, which was 27 years ago now.
Huh.
Yeah.
And,
And this
and
other
the
one was more recent. This is more recent.
But like how
This is,
much?
this is, I think, it's about 10 years, 7. No, yeah, around 7 years ago, if I recall correctly. And this is me now. So stark
Amazing.
difference.
No,
Yeah.
it's almost the same. We'll let the viewers comment. Of course, this is not a visual
Yeah.
show, so Silvery, please correct everything. And for the audio
Yeah.
people, explain कि
there were
situation
two.
ऐसा है कि
Yes,
हमारे पास
there were
3
two.
pictures.
Yes, there were two images of Vishal on screen. One of from his younger days. One from a slightly more.
And we can't tell. We really can't tell. I mean, we can tell because of the quality of the photo ka thing that is an older photo, but we can't
Yeah,
tell
literally,
really. Yeah.
you can't tell. Yeah. All right. Next question comes
And
from
those are the
Karan.
typical portfolio photographs, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay. The moment
Alright,
he
Karan
mentioned Dabu
Sethi.
Ratnani, his
Okay.
Wi-Fi seems to be giving trouble. Be careful. Dabu can be quite
I'm fine,
vicious
I'm
that
fine.
way.
Yeah.
Huh.
All
Okay,
right.
next one. Come on, bro.
Yeah, next one comes in from Karan Sethi, who says Cyrus and Kunal also went on Disney R. What are Cyrus's memories of going on the show? And I also remember Vishal asked Kunal about Mouse Works, which was the next show on Disney R, to which Kunal said the only Mouse Works he has seen was in his classroom. Okay.
At the time,
You know,
Karan,
Vishal?
I don't know, but Kunal must have been around 40 years old. Okay, so his chances of watching Disney, and we got a revival and got to see Vishal towards the later part of his Disney career, although he's very much still there, because of my son and then my daughter, because he was there. He's omnipotent. He's always there. He's not going to. I don't think he'll ever get rid of him. He's also lucky for them. It's like Harpic. Harpic and Disney will stop functioning without Vishal, so they just have to accept it. but I can't remember the show and all that. But I remember I've drunk with him a lot. I've done events with him. He's been at all kinds of interviews, all kinds of shows. So he's one of those guys that it's difficult to tell you, but he's been there a lot. It's not like one story,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cyrus and me
unfortunately.
have crossed paths a lot,
Yeah,
and it's always been great fun. As I
yeah,
said, I've recounted one which we've stretched too much.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
but it's always
And
been a
please,
blast. Yeah.
Silvery, drinking stories are not to be shared outside the bar because A, they're
Sure.
embarrassing, and B, you're so fakely happy most of the time that, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Right,
Yeah.
Vishal? Everybody's up like 30% the moment they enter the bar. Hey, hey, hey! Just up.
But I have to tell you
Yeah.
something. The first time I met Cyrus, I have to tell you, I remember this. The first time I actually met Cyrus face to face, uh, surprisingly, I was shocked. I was taken aback a little bit because he was at that probably just having a day,
Yeah.
but he was very serious that day. And I don't mean to kind of put that onto you, Cyrus. I understand it that people usually have an image of a person what they see and they look at on screen, right?
This is sounding
That
horrible.
happens with me all the time.
I was doing a physics
No, it's
lecture.
good. You were dangling, but the thing
Yeah,
is
I was.
that but you were a lot more serious, and unfortunately it was just about 4 5 minutes we were kind of crossing each other's path, but I was like, damn man, Cyrus is not that, he's this also. And that was it. So nothing good or bad, but that was my first interaction with Cyrus for whoever it might be interesting to.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. I have no idea where it went, but I was worried for a moment that I did something vicious.
I was
He
trying to
was
make a
stabbing an
little
old
of it
lady.
towards the end,
He
but
was stabbing
I
an old. He
just
was
said
so
fuck it.
pissed. I thought he was stabbing an old lady with a pencil in her eye. Hi, Vishal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait a minute.
I realized that. I did
Very
realize
serious
that. I
movie.
couldn't save it. I'm sorry. Move on. Move on.
And her last words were Harpic.
Or Mrs. Sharma goes, "Hey, the heat! Cyrus, stop looking at me."
But don't you see old people walking in the sun? Don't you feel bad for them? You can see they already have that loser like walk, and you feel bad anyway, with looking sad. And then they can see them dealing with the sun, looking up at it, looking, walking even more tentatively. Someone has to stop this heat wave. Give me power
Yeah.
in this country, guys, and I'll do everything to save India. Make it an air
Yeah.
condition available for everybody. Forget
Vote
Garibi
for
and
Cyrus.
Amiri and all this. Huh?
Brocha Janta Party. Yes, still
Gocha Janta.
It's
trying
called the
to.
I'll vote.
BJP. Be very careful, Vishal, with your
Yes.
next reply.
Yeah.
Get on your cycle, mate, and keep riding.
All
Okay,
right.
so let's take
Uh,
one more. Yeah.
Yes, Grim Fandango has a very interesting question. He says, there are no autos in Sobo, that is South Bombay. Vishal, is it good or bad, according to you?
It's bad for the rickshaw guys. Good for the people who live there. It's the most
Yeah.
convenient way to travel besides the cycle. If you're in Mumbai, you have to be in a rickshaw.
So
Or
if you're
cycle.
not fat and
So
old
it's
and
a
have
loss.
problems,
It's a loss for Sobo.
it's also a treadmill that moves around, because it's difficult to sit in it in these days. But when you're young, there's no question. I mean, you guys know, it's the fastest way to get to somewhere if that's your goal.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's
Yeah.
horrible here.
No,
Everything
it's not.
breaks
Yeah,
and
it's all open and it's the safest form. By the way, during COVID, it was the
Yeah.
safest form of transportation.
my
So I
nipples
feel
hurt
it's their
on
loss
a
actually.
rickshaw.
Nipples hurt.
My
Yeah.
You're sitting on
nipples
it
start
wrong,
paining.
Cyrus.
Hey,
You're
Cyrus,
sitting
what
in
are
the
you
rickshaw.
benching nowadays? What are you benching? What are you benching nowadays?
Why? I hit a 380 last week for one.
Ah, freaking that!
Yeah.
I knew. Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
for
So
one rep.
yeah. The last time I asked you this question, you were at 320.
Yeah. No,
I could see
I
that.
can do 375. I've been stuck on that for a long time. I've done a 392, but that was in 2016. I haven't been able to go closer to that. I get pain in the left shoulder.
Outstanding,
They keep a pillow.
outstanding.
But
That's another thing I learned
now we're
about
having a
Cyrus is
serious
that
conversation at
he's
last.
avidly
380
he's
beta,
avid.
380. 380.
That's amazing. So that's another thing I learned about Cyrus is that he's an avid gym
Yeah.
body, and
Yeah.
and he loves working. And I never, when you see Cyrus, you don't kind of get that immediately. But
No,
but
you
when
say,
I
who's
that's
this
another
ugly man?
no, not that. It's just that so good.
Too late,
Yeah.
Vishal. You're hurting the old man's feelings.
I'm using
Okay.
those stories in the end, yeah. I'm trying to my intention is
It's
good.
okay. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. Nothing can change the
390.
narrative.
Wow.
The narrative is
Wow.
terrible.
Wow.
380, 380. Bro, let's take one quick last one.
Sure. Last one comes in from
Yeah.
Tarun Kaushik, who says, Vishal, you're into NFTs. You spoke about electric bikes. So should we assume that technology that is for the good excites you? What is some other technology that you would like to invest in?
Well, I love this. I love electric cars. I love everything electric. But then I was asked a very pertinent question, which I leave the viewers and we can get the answers for. What happens to those batteries? At the end of the day, when the electric cars are finally done with, right? So where because those batteries are very very hard to dispose of. So environmentally, what happens to them? And secondly, you're charging them, na? So electricity is also coming from a certain point. So I have kind of been stuck on that question. But yeah, I love technology in a certain way. I want everybody to know that I'm very, very passionate about avionics. I am a training pilot. I love airplanes. I've created a simulator in my house for the last 20
Wow.
years. I've been slowly building it up. I love airplanes, and my dream is to actually be able to fly whenever I can soon.
And land also. But
Exactly, yes.
let me just say, you're going from cycles to aeroplanes. So you're a filthy,
Yeah.
rich, elitist pig at the end of the day. Look at that. Okay, yeah, we thought he's like a left-leaning guy. I'll get on a cycle. What the hell? Yeah. Now straight away he goes to the aeroplane. He
Plane.
just avoids cars, boats. They're all small shit for him.
Yeah.
Oof.
So
What
I'll
we-
correct you there. I
yeah.
want to be hired as a pilot is what I was
Oh,
going at. But ठीक है, you
wow.
can take your perception of it. See, this is society. This is society. ये है ना, ये जरूर होगा
Let
रजत भाई.
me
क्यों
talk
ऐसा
to
है?
Vijay Chacha and Ravi Chacha, and I will
Yes, yes.
organize because they have the money. Okay, the Thakkars have the money. That we have proven slowly and surely on the
For
show.
for private jets and all, I'm not sure. Huh?
Adani, Ambani, Thakkar. These are the three
I
big
want a
names of the
job as a
country.
pilot.
Yeah.
Anybody can give me a job as a pilot, please. I will learn to land on job. Promise.
Okay, you're getting a call from Tucker uncle pretty soon, and
Whose name escapes you.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
Let's take Tucker uncle to the
Vijayawada.
Morphism, cloakroom.
No, the Thakkar family might be there already. He's part of this whole movement. Okay, listen, my Uber has come. I'm not lying. He's right there. So off I go. Bye, guys. Vishal, great talking to you. And of course, the movie's called
Thank you so much. Yes.
which means knowledge. We've done our homework. Go and check it out. The first NFT funded project, all done on his
Can you
own.
tell us the
blood.
release date? Is there already a release date for the movie?
Not yet.
All right.
We're still finalizing our broadcaster. So use your clout and get us the best one.
Okay, done.
On a
Thank
bicycle
you,
built
Cyrus.
for
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Vishal.
Thank
Listen,
you
it's
so
been
much.
an
Have a great
absolute
day.
pleasure. Love you guys and see you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye, everybody. Bye bye.